Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Investing Bros. It is Monday, July 10th, and we got a show for you guys. Yes, you're reading that title correctly, and you're seeing T-Shrim's face very beautifully. $173,000 Bitcoin. Is it? Oh, I love it. I'm loving it. What else you got? Oh, I like T-Shrim's face. Anyway, so $173,000 Bitcoin prediction has been made. Is it true? Is it going to come true? We're going to be evaluating it a little bit later, breaking it down on the charts, and even just from a logical standpoint, is that actually possible? Make sure you guys do not go anywhere. We are doing everything today. We got TA, we got news, we got crypto, we got stocks, everything you need to know so you can be investing wisely for yourself. And I'm going to throw it over to that man you just saw, that handsome Florida man, Mr. T-Shroom. T-Shroom, how you doing this morning?
All right, here we go. I'm doing better than I deserve. Look at that beautiful man right there, Tim Warren.
Oh, there we go.
Here's a guy you know and love, T-Shroom, coming at you. I've been doing pretty good. Had a good weekend. It was Amanda's birthday, and and so she got a brand new bicycle, a bicicleta, and so we had a lot of fun riding our bikes around the neighborhood yesterday, and she's loving it. So shout out to you if you're watching. Probably not. She's probably hopefully studying and being focused on her classes that she's in right now.
I do have a question for you. Did you get her a present?
Yeah, I got her the bicicleta. Also, I got her some earrings and some gardening equipment for her gardening hobby. But yep.
So if we share my screen real quick here, Piper, this is very in line with the quote of the day today. Did I not share? Yeah, I shared my screen there. Okay. You got me thinking there for a second. Michael Scott's quote of the day: presents are the best way to show someone how much you care. It's like this tangible thing that you can point at and say, hey, man, I love you this many dollars worth. So I think that's very fitting. I didn't even know you were going to talk about Amanda's birthday, but, that's just how things work. Perfect quote of the day for a perfect weekend for T-Shroom.
That's good.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, let's also introduce the third trio of the group, the Texas man, Mr. Army Piper. Piper, how are you doing this morning?
Okay, look, it's me. It's the right person this time.
There we go.
I'm doing great, man. I'm over here trying to keep this stuff moving because I was working on some other scenes this weekend, and it looks like I disconnected some camera routing, but I fixed it all now. It's all fixed.
Oh, nice.
Excellent.
Yeah. Listen, I know firsthand button pushing, it sounds like an easy gig, but it's not. Button pushing is a pretty complicated thing to do.
I kind of remapped a few things, and then I had to unmap it. So yeah, but now we're on the right. We're on the right. Stream Deck setup profile. We're good to go now.
This is Investing Bros. If we didn't have some sort of glitch, then what even are we doing? Someday, someday we might not have glitches, and I'm going to be very sad. But for now, we have glitches, and it's awesome. Let's do some reading of the names real quick. We got 66 people in chat right now. Thank you to everybody who is here. Go ahead and smash that like button because we only have 34 of those. Yes, that is that four-fingered mitten sitting right below us right now. You guys are watching. Go click it. It's right there, I think. Right there. Smash that four-fingered mitten. We're going to read some names here this morning. Elo Brown was first, saying 1. Followed by Mr. Crypto Pew Pew Cruz saying P. So the one digit didn't work this morning. The one click of a button didn't work. Pew Pew. I don't know what happened. But Elo also said 2. So we're counting now. Did someone say 3? I don't know. Anyway, let's see who else is here. Amello Fellow came in third place saying GM, top of the morning to you. And he even waved at us. What about that? What a great guy. Let's see, what else do we have going on this morning? Crypto JMP is here. Steve B is here as well. Mr. J is here. 88 Ace is here. Crypto Ben Franklin, everyone's favorite non-American president. Eric Wallen saying morning hoodie Tim. I pulled out an oldie for this morning. Do you guys remember Get Hedge? Not even a sponsor of the channel, but Get Hedge. Great product still. But I remember the good old days. You guys remember with Back on Coffee and Crypto with Smay and my takes on Get Hedge was always good. Missed that guy. All right, let's keep moving on here. Brian D is here this morning. Bob is here. Nancy Croy is here. Ninja Glock is here. Gia S, OBC, Bedridden with the Blue Wrench is here. Mike Lowry with the Blue Wrench is here. Mike Play. Got a lot of mics here this morning. Who else we have? Philly Skills 1428. Let's see. Joe Nickel. I think I read his name already. Danny G is here. Curtis Rorick. Here we go. All right. So one of my favorite people, Jack Mehofer, because he always likes to come in and comment and raise our engagement. So thank you so much, Jack. I don't know why you watch. You don't seem to really like the show, but yet you watch every single day. I'm sensing, Jack, that maybe you have a secret love relationship with us. Maybe you really do like us a lot more than you comment, because you're here, like I said, literally every single day. So welcome, Jack. Glad to have you here. Make yourself at home. Remington Peralt is also here. Crimson Caravan Company is here. Crux of Crypto with the Blue Wrench. Cycle of Business. Let's get three more, and then we're going to move on. Justin Eubanks, D-Gen, Tolman, Rick Wilson, and Sir Mugiwara. Welcome to the show, everybody. So glad you guys are here. If I did not read your name, and I think there are a couple of you, I am so sorry. It is not because I don't love you. It just is time for us to go ahead and get on into the content. But go ahead, like I said, smash that like button. If you are new here, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button as well. We're growing very quickly. I think we can get there. I think we can get to 4,000 subs by the end of July. It's July 10th. We're sitting just above 3,600, but we do need your help. If you have not smashed that subscribe button already, please do so to help us get to our goal of 4,000 by the end of July. With that said, Piper, I'm throwing it over to you for the economic outlook this morning. What do you got for us?
Let's see if it works. It works. All right, good. Okay. So, hey, it's one of those mornings for me today, man. Like nothing seems to be on like working out in a timely manner. Everything's delayed, wrong cameras, but it's okay, man. We're gonna keep it going here. And I love your response to people that are less than sweet to the investing bros, because we're a group of good guys, in my opinion. So yeah. So today, guys, what do we have? Big Nothing Burger, a bunch of Fed speakers, Barr, Daly, Mester, Bostic, all speaking today. Normally these don't have any big effect. It's not like when Jerome Powell speaks, everyone listens. So we'll see how this plays out today, but that's what we have for today. Tomorrow, a bunch of nothing again. We got some oil stock changes. So, I mean, if you trade oil, I guess that's maybe a big deal for you, but that's it. The big one we're looking at this week is Wednesday, July 12th, guys. Right here, inflation rate month over month, inflation rate year over year, core inflation rate, and the core inflation rate month over month. So that's what we're going to be looking to see, and we'll know what this might give us some indication what's going to happen with the interest rate hike going on next week. So that's what we have there. Let's jump over and look at Truflation. Truflation staying neutral in at 2.44%. And liquidation for the past 24 hours, because I like to look and see here, pretty low. But weekend volume, it's down. Trading volume is down on the weekends. So if you're trading on the weekends, be very careful. That low volume means price can flip on you very quickly, regardless of what's going on the chart. So that's what we have there. Let's go ahead and kick it over to you, Tim, and let's see what your FOMC looks like.
Yeah, this morning, nothing necessarily different. A little bit higher number here. I think actually last week at certain points we saw 94%, but 92% saying on the CME futures tool, we're going to get another rate hike here in about 16 days. If I can scroll up, I don't know why. There we go. 16 days here until our next FOMC decision. Again, I think Jerome Powell's been doubling down on he wants two more of them. The CME is not sure about that just yet. They're still predicting this next rate hike will be the last one. But to be fair, they also predicted here a couple of months ago that we wouldn't get higher. We wouldn't even get up to 525 to 550. So things are still liable to change. We're still looking at a May of 2024 date as being the first rate cut in their prediction at this point. But again, a lot can change here. Let's go over to Bitcoin Fear and Greed Index. Don't have very fun ads this morning. Oh, no, there we go. NFL Sunday Ticket coming up. There we go. An ad after my own heart.
Boring.
We also have use Bitcoin 10 promo code at an ATM. Raise your hand in chat if you guys have ever used a Bitcoin ATM and if you appreciated it. But guess what, guys? Buy $100 of Bitcoin and get a $10 Bitcoin. That's just about, I think if I do my math correct, with the exchange on a Bitcoin ATM, that'll make you break about even. So you actually buy Bitcoin at its appropriate price. So maybe that adds a good one if you're going to go using the ATM anytime soon. Bitcoin Fear and Greed Index, though, sitting at 56, kind of just sitting in this boring zone. 56 was today, 55 was yesterday. Last week we did get up into the 60s again, but as a whole, kind of hovering here. If I were to scroll down here and look at our last month, I am on the month. Let me go 3 months here. Yeah, we've kind of consolidated here. Yeah, we get up into the 60s, but then we drop back down to this mid 50 range, and we keep moving sideways. Again, technically we're in the greed, but I do anticipate. I think a spike's going to get us a little higher. I think we might get into the 90s again after a rally into the higher 30,000s. Maybe we only go to like 80 or something, but I think if history repeats itself, if I were to go back out to the max, you guys can see it's pretty frequent that the price will jump up. Like, for example, back here, this is 2020 right here. What is it? 2019 back here. This is what we talk about. A lot of comparisons to what happened back then and right now. Back in 2019, it spiked up over 90, despite the fact that we did not hit new all-time highs, and we ended up falling back down. Of course, here, the greed got up to 90 in January of 2021, and we weren't even quite ready to drop just yet. What is this? Is this February? Where were we when it finally dropped? April, May? Yeah, we actually dropped in Bitcoin Fear and Greed Index before the big drop of that summer. And, of course, all-time high only made it back up to 80. But it's pretty common to get up here into the higher 80s, 90s, even though the bull market is not quite back yet. So what I'm seeing right here, I think we're still kind of sitting in a zone somewhere like over here back in 2018, 2019, and we're still working our way to the upside. But we will have to wait and see how that one will play out. Let's go over here and let's take a look at Bitcoin. I was checking out Bitcoin dominance this morning. Probably look at that here in just a second, a little bit later. But let's take a look at Bitcoin. Of course, you guys know we love our chart prime indicators here on the Investing Bros channel. Check out the link down below. If you have been watching us use them and you're finally ready to say, you know what, I'm ready to go all in. When you use our link, you get 45% off. So it helps out the channel. It helps out you. Gives you really cheap chart prime for your first month or your first quarter. And then, dang, if you don't make your money back in the trades, then I don't know what you're doing. You're doing something wrong. What's wrong, Piper?
Did you say 45% off?
I did. I did say 45% off.
That's the highest discount in the market, just so you know.
Yeah, well, that's because we're that special of guys, you know. We don't take the easy pick'ems. We said, you know what? We want top-notch deals or nothing. And then they gave us top-notch deals. Alex has been awesome. CEO, everyone who works at Chart Prime is awesome. And the indicator itself is awesome. Make sure you guys go check it out.
Thank you, Tim. Appreciate that.
Let's go look at the daily chart here. Let's start off. You guys know I love me some oscillators, and I love this Chart Prime oscillator a lot. This is doing exactly what I've been kind of talking about now for a while. But, guys, this is a classic reloading section. And I know some of you might be tired of hearing me say that. I'm sorry. Sometimes we get on here, and not a whole lot has changed. We're going to look at the things that have changed. But I want to start here on the daily chart and just remind you guys, look at how we're continuing just to trade sideways, and yet we're watching this oscillator continue to drop. We just got down here and touched zero here over the weekend. We came down and touched 50 on the RSI primed down here. This is nice to see us back in the middle zone, despite the fact that we're just trading sideways. You guys will notice the last time we were hovering around the zero on the chart prime oscillator, on the zero on the RSI primed, the price of Bitcoin was sitting all the way down here at 26,000. So technically, I'm not going to draw a divergence on that because this was an exact bottom. And it's not a divergence because the actual bottom is way down here, is lower than the current price action. But my point here is to say, look at how we're reloading. The RSI and the oscillator are dropping way faster than the price. The price is not dropping, it's moving sideways. And that is like a reloading to say, hey, next time we push up, it'll allow our price to go up even higher. Let's take a look and see if anything is popping with our other indicators. We're not even close to the daily dynamic reactor. Let's take a look on the daily chart. Let's take a look here at some of these. We, of course, talked about this a couple of days ago, so it's nothing fresh, but bounced off of our very, very strong, this would be the gold would be the 12-hour, you guys know I have multi-time frame up here, 12-hour support level that's really significant. So we don't really have any other support and resistance zones in here. I'm going to talk about one that we bounced off here a second ago, but keep an eye out for prices as we get back up. If we were to drop, watch that line again around 29.7. And then down below us, watch 29.5 or so. But above us, we're looking back up towards 30,900, back up to 30,100. And of course, I don't know where it went because it changed up on me, but we had another one up here at 33,000, about 500 or so. Definitely want to keep your eyes on those levels. Now, as far as resistance we have touched here more recently, let's go ahead and turn off that indicator, the Markets Dynamic Pro. Let's look down here at the 4-hour chart. Is anything popping? Still waiting on my Market Oracle to load. There we go. We probably, if we get another fall, we might actually get a bounce off our 4-hour dynamic reactor, finally catching up. We have not been anywhere close to it since all the way back here in the 19th of June. We're almost a month away from touching a 4-hour dynamic reactor. That's how bullish we are. We did find support here on our trend assistant. Of course, we went below it, so it turned red. So watch for a push back up to our red trend assistant. But right now, we're still sitting in this nice zone. Dynamic reactor coming up to kind of support that as well. Right here between about 28.5 and let's see, 29. Did I say 28.5? Sorry, 29.8 and 29.7 is this nice fat level of support. Now, I do want to draw your guys' attention to something. Nothing really popping up here on the oscillators on the 4-hour chart. I do want to draw your attention to something. Remember over the last couple of weeks, I did have these blue dotted lines drawn in a rising trading channel of a bull flag. I still believe in a bull flag. We just turned it horizontally, but I left those lines up there. And this is exactly why. Even though we had not touched it just yet, I talked about this last Friday, I believe. And sure enough, after coming down and setting this low again, this coming down to our bottom level, we came back up and rejected on the former support level of the rising trading channel. That is why you leave those up there. It's still significant. And even now, I'm going to continue to watch to see. I want to see the bulls break back through this and turn this level back into support. But until we do, that's a new level to watch for potential rejections. That's why you leave lines that maybe were broken up for a little while longer. Same with this one. You guys will notice this red line was used as resistance several times. We had a false breakout, came back down, used it as resistance again. Then we broke back through it and started using it for support. So that's another line I'm going to keep up there just in case things continue to move that direction. I'm going to go ahead and stretch it out even a little bit more just in case. I want to keep an eye on, does this line that used to be resistance keep getting used as support? And if we do end up losing this yellow line right here, then I'm watching this red line once again as a confluence of support down the road. So that's just a little bit of alpha this morning for you guys. Let's take a look at our fixed range volume profile. Let's start off with just during this zone. We're kind of hovering right here using the value area low and the point of control as support right here. So that's what's kind of keeping us up this morning. Nothing's really happening even when we look at the volume. Let's go to the hourly chart here real quick. Yeah, look at the volume. Just nothing is happening on Bitcoin, which a lot of times is an indication of something big that is going to come. In fact, to show you something big is going to come, let's go ahead and even go out on this. It's the last thing I want to look at on Bitcoin this morning. Then we're going to move on. I want to take a look at some altcoins over the Bitcoin chart because that is important. But let's go all the way out here to our weekly chart. No, I actually want to go to the daily chart. Excuse me. Sorry. We have something very big coming that's suggesting breakouts should be coming, and that is our Bollinger Bands here on the daily chart. You guys know who have been watching us for a while, and you guys have been learning about Bollinger Bands, one of my favorite indicators. Well, one of the things you look for is when the bands start to tighten, and sure enough, that's exactly what we see happening here on the daily chart. They are still constricting, so this could still take a couple more days, maybe a whole week, but watch out for a big breakout coming. We see the low volume. Yes, you can't see it on the daily chart, but you see it when you go down to the 1 hour and 4 hour. You see the low volume. You see us sitting on a strong level of support. You see the daily Bollinger Bands closing. I think, guys, that the catalyst for this explosion up to this top $36,000 price action is coming very soon, and this is one of the main signs that you're going to see it kind of pointing that way. We're still well above our 100 and 200 daily SMA. I think it's where we get down to the 4 hour chart. We do need to start breaking through that 100 though. When we come down here all the way to the 4 hour and 1 hour, The 100 SMA is being used as resistance. Bulls need to reconquer that and turn it back into support. I tried to turn you off, Bollinger Bands. There you go. We need to get back above the 100 1 hour and 100 4 hour for bullish support. But when you take a look out here on the daily chart and you see how high we still are above it, when you see that we have constricting Bollinger Bands coming in and we're sitting on strong support, this is just continuing. We had a show last week where we talked about massive bullish signals out on the long time frames. This is just one more to add to that to expect, hey guys, we're still looking bullish from here on Bitcoin. With that said, though, what time we got? 9:21. I'm going to go through a couple of coins here, and then we're going to keep moving on. Bitcoin dominance. I want to start off here. We're still sitting high above this level of resistance at 50%. We're sitting at 51.49. Guys, I do think we're about to reload, and I'm going to show you guys why. Got to scroll all the way down here. I just made this new one. Let's start off here. I'm not going to do Ethereum TA. I'm doing Ethereum over Bitcoin TA. I do think Ethereum potentially could be one that actually moves to the upside. I just got a text from Piper. Is BitBoy in chat? Is somebody from the BitBoy team in chat? Well, there we go. Love to see it. Love to see BitBoy in chat. I don't know if it's actually Ben or if it's somebody else, but thank you for being here. I am very glad to be employed here at Hit Network and by BitBoy. But let's keep moving on here. Ethereum over Bitcoin. This is one of the ones that I actually think potentially we could see Ethereum gain some dominance back on Bitcoin. Why is that? Because we're sitting in a falling wedge pattern right now, and we're sitting super low on support. Now, we could continue just to trickle. We could just ride this blue line on the support level, but I'm loving what I'm seeing here being more of a support zone and movement to the upside coming very soon. It gets a little bit different here when you're looking at like Cardano kind of sitting on one level of support, but it actually could very much fall to this red line as well. Keep an eye on that. We're kind of seeing more of a neutral zone for Cardano. Again, watch, does it potentially just move to the right here for a little bit? We have not seen the dominance this low since all the way back in January of 2021. Right before that bull market started. So we absolutely still could have room to the downside for Cardano over Bitcoin. Let's take a look at XRP. Did I do any lines this morning? I think that's one I have not looked into. You said I got to do some more TA on that one. I want to kind of speed through these. Solana, one that I told you guys I'd like the way the charts were looking. Well, guess what Solana just did? It just rejected on its resistance zone as well. We got a long room down for Solana. Yes, it looked very good on the charts before. It did, absolutely. And I think we hit some of those levels. Do not be surprised to see Solana slip this week after actually having a pretty decent week last week. I don't think that it's going to have as strong of a week based off of what I'm seeing, it not only on the charts on Solana itself, but specifically Solana over Bitcoin, hitting some rejection. If I pull up the oscillators too, look at this, bearish divergence, peak seeker, overbought, red triangle, just so many things screaming here on the daily chart that Solana over Bitcoin is overextended. Let me take a look real quick. How are we sitting over here? I guess Cardano actually has some room to the upside here as well. We might see a week where Bitcoin continues to lose some dominance, maybe get back down to 51%. Let's see what Ethereum's doing, kind of sitting around that zero, although it did reject off of the zero line on the chart prime oscillator. It did reject off the 50 of the RSI. Yeah, I'm kind of thinking, watch for maybe Ethereum over Bitcoin to kind of trickle and ride this blue line before a peak up here maybe later this fall. We will have to wait and see. Of course, in these falling wedges, you don't have to break the upside. I know Ben Cowan is still looking at this chart, and he still is predicting a break to the downside for Ethereum over Bitcoin. I don't know. I'm kind of liking this support level. We will have to wait and see. But, of course, you guys know I still believe long-term, and this is where Ben, if Ben is watching, he doesn't like this. He doesn't like that I say this, but it's okay. I still believe this Bitcoin dominance chart, guys. I think there's still a chance that we rise a little bit more as prices rise. And then when everything starts to dip, I'm still putting my target up here about here on TradingView, about 60%. Come on now. Get up here. I still am predicting about a 60% level for the Bitcoin dominance to get to before it starts to keel back over. Of course, this is still setting lower highs here on the overall long-term chart. So don't think that just because I'm predicting that we have a higher Bitcoin dominance and all of a sudden Bitcoin's doing crazy new things. No, this is still over a long time period. Bitcoin dominance is losing. What would be tragic, and this is the last thing I'll say here, and then I'm going to throw it over to Piper for some Ethereum TA. Gareth Soloway was on the BitBoy channel this last week. And great. I love Gareth Soloway. He's not right about everything, but he's a great technical analyst. And he made a case. He was saying, hey, there's a chance that we do see Bitcoin dominance rally. And I'm pretty sure he drew a line something like this. and his chart, he pretty much is saying, like, I think we could see Bitcoin dominance make it up to like 59.5. And you guys know my bet with DZ, that would be a loss for me. I needed to hit 60.0 for me to win. How tragic would that be, Piper? I'm going to ask you this question, and I'm going to throw it to you. How tragic would it be if Bitcoin dominance gets to 5.9, even if it just gets to 59%? But if it got to like 5.95, 5.97, and then I would break my heart. I would still cook that steak for DZ, but man, that would suck.
Look, Tim, it would make sense because, psychological numbers and people front run. So people would start looking to do their swap right just before that line hits. So it happens to me all the time on trade entries, Tim. So why not with you on dominance?
Yeah.
Just go ahead and get ready to look at DZ and go, how do you like your steak cooked?
Hey, let's not get ahead of ourselves. I still think we see a wick get up there. All I need is a wick. I don't even need daily closes. I just need one wick of a 1 minute chart to get up there and touch 60%. And he's making me a tomahawk steak. But it would crush my spirit if it made like 59.7. That would be heartbreaking.
I don't like anything that crushes your spirit, Tim, because your beard is too powerful for that. And if your spirit is crushed, then it means that someone has done something horribly bad or you shaved your beard. So.
Yeah, that'd be rough. All right. Well, let's go ahead. What are you seeing over on the Ethereum chart this morning? Like I said, on the Ethereum over Bitcoin chart, we kind of see like a middle ground, some rejection here, but do we see bullish price action for Ethereum? Is it kind of neutral? What we got?
Well, Tim, let's go ahead and take a look here. Looking at Ethereum right now, guys, we do have ourselves sitting right now under the dynamic reactor. Price is currently coming in at about 1862. This all-time high Fibonacci, which goes from the all-time high back in November 2021 all the way to the bottom low that we had, we're actually getting all of our support right here on the 236. And so that support is holding pretty decent, but we do have some resistance on the 4 hour sitting right above us here. We've got the this line right here, guys. This is coming from the multi-kernel regression. It gave us the downtrend here. Absolutely free indicator. Just go in, type chart prime, all one word. Look for multi-kernel regression. And throw it in your chart, it works out really well a lot of the time, and it's completely free. So remember, don't use it by itself. You want a multi-confluence, which is what we're going to jump into and find here, okay? So right now, we do have this resistance coming in off the dynamic reactor. We all sitting below that trend line for the multi-kernel, but we're getting really good, solid support. That was previous support also on this 236. Let's go ahead and pull up into the rest of the oscillators here, see what else we're seeing. And I do want to show you guys that we did have a chart breakout that occurred back here. You can see that red X on the breakout confirmation. This occurred on the 5th of January. Or the 5th of July. I wish it was January. It's hot as hell. We're triple digits here in El Paso, Texas, guys, and we're still continuing on. The breakdown target of this breakout was down here at about 1850, 1851, and you can see that we hit that. That's also right in line with what we're getting off of this Fibonacci support. So a lot of confirmation that we have good support, but I'm seeing some things on the resistance side that's given me pause for concern. Like, for example, right now, we are getting a bounce off of the zero line. It looks like we're about to pinch and maybe try to come back up, and that does give me a little bit of hope that we may get this oscillator coming back up, therefore breaking up our price. Hopefully, we don't get a divergence off of that. But on money flow, the MFI money flow index, this blue cloud here on the trend fusion oscillator, is starting to push up. So money flow is coming in, and this red break of the trend fusion here looks like it is getting a little curvature there. If I go ahead and bring this in just a little bit, you'll see it's curving up to the upside. So we're sitting really right now a lot like this candle that currently is being built right now. If you guys can see that candle, nice little dragonfly there. That is a doji. That means it is uncertain on which direction it wants to go. And I think that's what all the indicators are telling me also. We have a potential here of really good support. So maybe we get to the upside with this money flow index that we're looking at here. Click that. Thank you. So maybe we do get that upside push there. We are coming up on the RSI primed. Does look like we're in green on the histogram, and the fast, slow movers are just running really tight here. So it does look like there's potential here. But right now, I think a lot of people are just sitting and waiting after last week's red week. They're hesitant to put into the risk market, and they're kind of waiting what's going on with CPI data 2 days from now on Wednesday. So that's what I'm seeing there on Ethereum. There's not much I can really tell you. Like at this point, guys, flip a coin 50-50 on what could be happening. Macroeconomic impact on the actual price action. So it really is just a wait and see game right now. Looking at XRP looking a little bit stronger than ETH is right now. We did have an uptrend that printed right here on our multi-kernel regression tool, and we are getting above that trend line for that. We do have a breaker block here that's given us some previous resistance here that you can see, but right now looks like we got a good ribbon twist in motion going on the oscillator here. The trend fusion money flow is starting to come up. The trend fusion turned back green again, and it does look like we did get the engulfing candle pattern from this area right here on the RSI prime. Nice little retest of that level, and now coming back up. So XRP looking a bit more bullish than what Ethereum is right now. But what I would be watching for is, again, are we going to bounce off of this breaker block? Or are we going to get a rejection on the 382 coming in at about 47.7 cents? And that's what I've got for ETH and XRP today, Tim. Let's go ahead and kick it back to BroCam.
Broing it up.
There we go. Well, guys, it is 9:32. That means it's time to jump in because the markets are open. T-Shroom, what are you seeing over in the markets this morning?
All right. Yeah, let's hop and jump on over to my screen. We will get to the market open. I've got Tesla here. It is leading just behind Meta. Meta's up actually 2.4% on your jumping ahead to the mega cap tech stocks because it's like that's the most exciting part of the watch list, right? But take a look at Meta here on the daily, man. It has just had a rocket climb since November. Just absolute insane upside. This is Meta, formerly known as Facebook, up 243%, man. Just absolute rocket ship there as Mark Zuckerberg has been able to instill confidence in investors throughout all of the FUD and bearishness over there in the tech sector. Well, taking a look here at energy, you got natural gas coming up sharply with the natural gas futures contracts up 2.5%, the ETF up 3.6%. Oil coming down, getting a nice little reprice to the downside this morning, down to $73 per barrel, but it's up at this high, so it's been range bound. Probably won't shift from that. And some big players kind of interested in keeping those oil prices predictable and sustained. So more than likely going to see some move to the downside. If you're feeling froggy, you might even take a short position on that. Not financial advice. Let's go ahead and look at the indexes here. Taking a look at the Dow Jones actually leading. So a decent amount of liquidity going ahead and investing in security this morning. Definitely over the NASDAQ and slightly over the S&P. So all the names are green there. That's what you want to see, especially when we ended last week with so much bearishness, so much a yucky and kind of bearish, sell the news kind of tone. So it's good to see some green on the screen. Hopefully that will remain throughout the rest of the day. Crypto, definitely mixed. Your Bitcoin futures are actually slightly red here in the 4th minute of the New York session. But Bitcoin proper, Bitcoin spot is up 0.1. So that is good to see. Binance, you almost never see much movement, much exciting movement from Binance in 2023 so far. Well, I shouldn't say that in the summer of 2023 so far, but it's moving up. It's actually our winner today in the first few minutes, up 3.9%. Let's just track down and see. Yep, it's beaten cake. Yep, it's beaten my watch list at least. There's probably some coins out there that are doing better than that. But I mean, hey, that's a whopping move to the upside there for Binance. Got to give them credit where credit is due. AVAX coming in looking like one of the losers this morning, down 2%. And like I said, Cake up 3.4%. This one's had quite a roller coaster in 2023. Roller coaster to the downside, unfortunately. And then your FET.ai name is down 2.4% there. So moving right along, whistling past the meme coins for the bros here as Pepe is down 2.6. But we'll keep moving here. Your mixed metals here, we got steel down 0.2, and then silver and gold both down, with silver leading lower, down 0.75% there. So circling back on our mega cap tech stocks, not too much has changed, although I will point out that Apple, Google, and Amazon are all down more than 1%, as Tesla and Meta are moving higher. Oracle also moving higher. So we'll hopefully get clued in on some of the stories why we're seeing such mixed results there for mega cap tech. Maybe there's some headlines for one of those companies or two. Bond yields are mixed. You're seeing the older dated bonds here doing a little bit better. The 30-year is green and the 6-month is green. So just a lot of discontinuity, a lot of disagreement here in the bond yield markets, at least, with your 5-year down 1.2%. So kind of confusing there. I'm not going to try to interpret that. What I will say, though, is that we had a big move last week, a big bullish move in the MOVE index. So that means that instilling a lot of confidence in a big move in the bond market that did not really come back down very much. So there still could be some shoes to fall over in the bond market. We will be keeping a close eye on that and bring you some news as it comes. But the comfort is that it did not go higher. So if this had gotten higher, then there would be more volatility to come, meaning higher interest rates in H2 of 2023. That did not happen. That did not occur like up here at the beginning of, or towards the end of last year, when we were getting those jumbo rate increases. So this has been subdued, although bearish for the equity markets and risk assets like crypto. So overall, definitely a bearish signal, but is subdued and is trending in the bullish direction as we open into the new week. So that is a little meteorology there for the bond markets. Cannabis red across the screen, mid-cap tech stocks mixed, with DraftKings coming up 4.5%. So that's pretty good for that. And then your big banks green across the screen, getting a lot of love for the big banks, and your big oil red across the screen on that U.S. oil price. Didn't go high enough on that U.S. oil price, coming down 0.3%. So that's going to be our market open, guys. Indexes continuing to get bought despite the bearishness yesterday. Crypto mixed, and it'll be an interesting day of trading to watch for sure as we set up for a general bullish tone, I'd have to say, going into the week. Well, that's going to be our market open, guys. Let's go ahead and get into our community, which is going to be a jam-packed section. So let's go ahead and get into it.
Well, there's a lot of things. So first of all, guys, thank you so much, everyone watching. Still got 125 people watching here. Only 88 likes, though. So let's start this off with a nice like button push. If you're new here again, let's get some more subscribers. Right now, I'm checking to make sure I'm up to date on this. We're sitting at 3,608 subscribers. Make sure you smash the subscribe button. Again, there's going to be some things that help us. For example, getting to go on some other shows and having guests on shows. That kind of moves to the next part of the announcement. Tomorrow morning, we're going to have Chris Inks. Some of you guys remember him. He came on a couple of months ago. Fantastic trader. Has been doing it at a very high level for the last, darn near close to 30 years. He's almost been trading for 30 years. He appeared on BitBoy's channel. I got him on BitBoy's channel here a couple of weeks ago. Very excited to have him come on tomorrow morning, so you do not want to miss it. Make sure you're back here tomorrow morning. Also, tonight, Mr. Piper, where are you going to be at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time?
At 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I will be on Around the Blockchain, Tim.
Oh, you will be on Around the Blockchain.
I will.
And then shortly, that'll run from about 5 to 5:40 or so.
Yeah.
20 minutes later, what are you doing after that?
The debut of Tactical Trades with R&B Piper right here on the Investing Bros channel. So
yes,
a whole 45 minutes-ish time period of technical analysis. So looking at the market close and stuff like that. So.
Yep, it'll be a good day. Make sure you guys are watching all of that. Tomorrow, after we got Chris Inks on the channel, I'll be on ATB tomorrow night. So make sure you guys watch both tonight and tomorrow. Let's get an Investing Bros win. We got to get at least one win between the two of us this week.
We should. We also have another event tonight, Tim.
What else is tonight? Oh, that's right. We do have another one.
Tim,
I'm going to T-Shroom. What are we doing tonight around 7 p.m.?
So 7 p.m. is Investing Bros Twitter Spaces with Jenna X, and it's going to be a lot of fun. We're excited.
Let's go.
We're going to be covering what we're buying going into H2, the second half of 2023, and what we're anticipating going into 2024. We're going to be talking about much, much more Solana versus Cardano, and maybe even get into some NFT projects. We shall see, but that's going to be at 7 p.m. Eastern. What's that?
I would say those are some good topics right there.
That's right.
They are good topics.
Those are good topics.
Absolutely. But it's going to be at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Yeah.
Today, Monday, and we're excited. Hope you'll join us on Twitter. So the way you follow, if you're following any of us, any of the gentlemen here on the screen, it should pop up around 7 p.m. And you just click, and then if you've never been in Twitter Spaces, you just click the illuminated oval at the top of your Twitter, and you can rock out from there. If you're on desktop, it's going to look a little different. Here, you can go to my screen. I'll show you. It'll look a little bit different. It'll look like this. Over here on the side, it'll say listen live in Spaces. You just click it, and then you hit start listening, and then you'll be rocking out with us, and we'll be getting into all the nitty gritty of what you need to know in crypto. That's my time for this promo, but I'm excited to see you there for sure.
Well, we got one more. T-Shroom, you weren't wrong. This is a jam-packed community section because we got to let you guys know what's happening. So all of our Discord members, our members that are paid, like our Patreon members, they know about this announcement, but I'm announcing it to you guys. Later this week, I don't know what day, I'm hoping by Wednesday, but maybe even sooner, who knows? We will be launching the Investing Bros YouTube community option to get in on silver, gold, and diamond. There will be some updates to the perks. Again, those of you who are in Patreon, you guys know there were some perks there. We're updating them, and there's only going to get better for you guys, but it's also going to make it a lot easier for you guys to join. This means green names will be coming to chat. You guys will get stickers. You guys will get badges when you join, but also we're building out some really cool stuff even on the educational front to do more things with webinars, create some educational videos. It's all going to be behind, though, in our membership platform. So make sure you guys stay tuned. We did get approved this morning, so we just got to go in and fill out all the details with stickers and badges and make sure we get everything executable. Also coming soon. I don't know when. This one, I have no idea when. Maybe next couple of months. This YouTube membership, because YouTube makes it so easy to do this, means that we'll be able to start doing some Investing Bros merch very, very soon. So stay posted. It's coming. We're getting bigger and better every single day, and that's because of all of you guys. Once again, if you have not subscribed already, make sure you're subscribed. And again, later this week, if you've been waiting and thinking, man, I want to do more with the Investing Bros and show them some support, make sure you guys join that YouTube membership. You're not going to regret it. With that said, it is now time to transition into our headlines for the day. T-Shroom, we got a lot of predictions about Bitcoin. What are we seeing? And let's get into that discussion.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, let's go ahead and get into our cover story. Standard Chartered bumps up Bitcoin forecast to 120,000. So Standard Chartered, for those of you who don't know, is a big British bank. They do a lot of international banking, and they're predicting the jump in its price could encourage Bitcoin miners to hoard more of the supply. So a lot of their predictions here coming from the mining side. Standard Chartered published a 100,000 end of 2024 forecast for Bitcoin back in April on the view the so-called crypto winter was over. But the bank's top FX analyst, Geoff Kendrick, said there was now 20% upside to that call. So very big predictions here from, what's his name? Geoff Kendrick. That's a pretty cool name. Let us know in the chat, where is that name from? What nation does Geoff come from? More than likely, my guess would be
it could
Dutch.
be pronounced just Jeff, though.
Jeff?
That's also that's another way to spell Jeff.
Jeff. Okay.
That is a fact.
Like Jeffrey Fritz. Jeffrey Fritz Jeff is spelled that way.
That's great. We're learning a lot. Oh, no, my dogs are wanting to chime in. Everybody's wanting to chime in on this story.
They were saying that's how they pronounce when they see Geoff. That's how they pronounced it, Jeff.
All right. This is all due to increased miner profitability per Bitcoin mined means they can sell while maintaining cash inflows and reducing net BTC supply and pushing BTC prices higher, Kendrick said in a report. So again, all of this prediction kind of coming around the buy and hold, the earn and hold rather, psychology for miners. So that's a pretty big, pretty bold prediction for Standard Chartered, but they have held their very, very bullish predictions throughout 2023, and it looks like they're not letting go anytime soon. But they're not the only ones. Titan of crypto also putting up some pretty big bullish predictions up here, predicting 173K Bitcoin before the end of well, let's see, that's by about 2025. So that's a pretty big bullish prediction for sure. End of year will be surprising, Titan saying. And when majority is expecting Bitcoin to range for next couple of years, I think the end of year 2023 and 2024/2025 could be epic for Bitcoin. So definitely some very exciting bullish sentiment. Looks like he's predicting 90K for the end of 2024 there in his graph. Definitely a bullish graph indeed, and a very helpful one as well. Very, very cool. Kind of showing the different 4-year cycles there, as you probably know and love. If you don't know, we definitely have a ton of content about the 4-year cycles here on this channel. Gonna go ahead and skip ahead to our next story, which is AI can now move Bitcoin with new Lightning Labs tools. So this is one of the stories that is probably contributing to all of the bullishness here in the Bitcoin markets. But the L402 enabled tools now allow users to sell and pay for API queries, monetizing access to a wide breadth of software applications. The engineers at Lightning Labs wrote earlier this week that the L402 standard would give Bitcoin and Lightning Network access to the popular LangChain AI software library, broadening its use cases and building more accessibility for AI infrastructure. So definitely some big developments there. I want to go ahead and throw it to Piper really quickly. The predictions here that we're seeing, are these the highest that you're seeing, or are you seeing some higher predictions from fairly legitimate sources? And just what are your thoughts on that Standard Chartered continuing to be very bullish on the Bitcoin?
Well, I mean, I showed you guys before my my fib channel that goes all the way back to the history, and so like that 175 definitely one of the targets that I had talked about numerous times for the next cycle high, because of the between the 786 and the golden pocket on that. I'll pull it up today. We'll talk about it today on the on tactical trades. I'll show it to you. But so if you want to see that chart, join me then. But yeah, I think it's right in line. I think it's right in line there with what people are talking about. Some of those even on the lower side of what I have showed on the looking at the 786 being the bottom going into the next bull run. So there's a nice little trend line from the 786 fib that's actually going to be even lower than some of those calls. So those are all sitting right there in the meat of that range. So
the meat and the potatoes. Well, Tim, do you generally agree with that, or are you seeing something else in the charts?
There's a decent amount you can garner from charts, and there's also a certain amount you got to start using some logical thoughts. I still believe that this next bull market, we're getting over 100K. Fun fact, and I'm just going to do this because I love him so much. I just want to send all the haters after him. DZ. Not only does DZ disagree with me about 60% dominance, he also believes that Bitcoin's peak will be 95 to 97,000. He does not think that we will see under $100,000 Bitcoin. And I want to say, before I release the dogs on him, because now you guys know that maybe people are going to give him a hard time, I still think that we're getting over 100,000 on Bitcoin's price. But DZ makes an interesting point, which is why he's so, I'm going to say, bearish about price prediction, even though that's still bullish from here. By the way, guys, that's still a 3x from where we're currently sitting, what he's predicting, right? But his reason for this is, who's buying Bitcoin over 100,000? We got to remember, guys, for price to go up, people have to be buying. And if you're going to say the institutions, you're right. Institutions eventually will buy that high. But institutions will only buy when they think that they can find a sucker like you and me to buy even higher. No. They're smart with when they buy. They want to take profit.
Here's how it happens, Tim. We get up there, we rejected 100,000, and then you're going to start seeing things like Plan Bs, stock to flow, stuff like that, and people are going to start talking 200,000. and then it's going to come back up and punch through that 100K mark. And then the FOMO will continue the drive from there, because people are going to go, I can make 100% gains at 100K. I'm in.
It'll happen. I think you're absolutely right. Like I said, I believe that we are getting above 100,000, but I think that DZ makes an interesting point that there are levels where people will start getting even more ridiculous. We're not talking about them today, but there are people. Sorry, I got something in my eye. I don't know why. I'm not crying over here. I'm not that emotional. Maybe I am. I don't know. This is a touchy topic for me. Just kidding. So there are people calling for upwards of $300,000 to $500,000 on this next price action. There are people that believe $11 trillion aren't just coming into the crypto space. They believe $11 trillion is coming into Bitcoin specifically. In which case, if that did, yes, we are talking about, guys, we are talking about a $500,000 Bitcoin if $11 trillion within the next 2 years comes into Bitcoin. Yes, you're right. That's what we're looking at, right? That's not going to happen, though. $11 trillion might make its way trickling in and out of crypto, but a lot of us, guess what we're going to do? This is how crypto is, and this is why crypto is so amazing. We're going to start taking profits on Bitcoin at good levels to then pump our alts. And $11 trillion is not all going to go into Bitcoin. It's going to go into the crypto ecosystem. Well, guess what, guys? Realistically, when you look at the Bitcoin dominance chart, you should expect at a peak, Bitcoin probably will set a slightly lower Bitcoin dominance around 30 to 33%. Let's just go ahead and call it 33 for easy math and say a third. Well, guess what? A third of 11 trillion is going to be somewhere in the range of giving us a price for Bitcoin between 150 to 173,000. I do think 173,000 is very doable. I think my range for more comfort, I've been saying more like 115 to 150. And then if major bullish stuff comes up, then I think Bitcoin makes a stretch up there to 175, 173 range. But I'm going to be very, very surprised if we see a $200,000 Bitcoin price, because Piper's absolutely right. I think what will get us over the $100,000 edge is when we get to 90 pretty quickly and people turn their attention to 200, 300, 400. They turn their attention to, guys, $11 trillion is coming into Bitcoin's market cap. Well, guess what? It's not. It's not. Not this cycle. It will eventually. With hyperinflation coming in the next couple of years, we're going to see a $1 million Bitcoin price. I'm not saying that's not going to happen eventually, but we're not set up right now for everything to play out for Bitcoin to do much more than 150 to 173. And in reality, when you think about it, even that is asking for a lot. I think realistic expectations are 115, 120. And again, if things keep going bullishly and the ball keeps rolling, yeah, I think we maybe see 150, 175, but that's about it. Anything higher than that is hopium. It's going to be the same hopium of this last bull market when people called for 100,000 and we fell short. Do not be surprised when a similar thing happens again, because despite the fact that we as humans, remember that a lot of people watching this video right now, we were there. We were here for the whole $100,000 prediction and then didn't happen. Guess what? We're humans and we're stupid and we forget. And I'm not talking about us specifically. I'm talking about us as a complete race. There will be people who lived through 2021, who heard the $100,000 Bitcoin prediction, who convinced it was going to happen. And they're going to be convinced this next cycle that 200, 300, and they're going to wait for it. And when price does get to 150, they're not going to take profit because they're convinced we're going even higher. And then they're going to be left holding the bags of a lot of institutions and hopefully a lot of smart new whales like you guys out there who are learning to read the markets and be realistic with your expectations. Don't fall for the same trap that the people in 2021 fell for, that I fell for, that you fell for. Don't make the same mistake twice.
Yeah, I'll be starting to take profits at the $100,000 mark. So,
yes. Okay. Well, let me jump in there because we do have a lot more stories to go. I do want to point out though that the Nasdaq Prime Oscillator Pro has dipped into the red here, dipped into that lower range. So that's the Nasdaq on the weekly. So there could be some potential, retesting of maybe midlines of Bollinger Bands sometime soon for the Nasdaq as we trudge forward here in the markets. But that's not all. Crypto booster RFK Jr. bought Bitcoin despite recent claims. So going to get through this one quickly here, guys. Democratic presidential candidate RFK, maybe you've heard of him, confirmed that he owns a considerable amount of Bitcoin, not a shocker, after saying he didn't. And after the crypto was initially attributed to his wife. Even so, it's not a conflict of interest, according to his campaign. Quickly, real real quickly here. It's not a surprise that someone who's such a big proponent of Bitcoin would be would own some Bitcoins. So, it's a little bit fuddy. And I will say that that RFK had just appeared on Joe Rogan, like not even 2 weeks ago. And then he was also on Lex Fridman this last week. So, it was time for him to correct, you could say, for the media markets to go ahead and sell off a little bit of RFK after his precipitous climb to those major big podcasts that are listened to by a lot of people who vote in the United States. So moving along, 15 retail CBDCs likely by 2030. The Bank of International Settlements says a survey conducted by the Bank of International Settlements also found that 93% of central banks worldwide were engaged in digital currency work in 2022. So something to keep on your radar, nothing to go yell and scream into the streets about, but something to keep in the radar. Speaking of yelling and screaming into the streets, Janet Yellen's latest trip helped set a new normal for the U.S.-China relationship. Guys, didn't seem like there was very big developments there. I don't know that it was a very productive visit, but it seemed like a smooth visit, which is a lot to hope for these days between U.S. and China. So overall bullish there. And then your Manheim Index just printed new data. This Manheim Index is an index of the prices for used vehicles. This has been an important input into the inflation story. And as you can see, it has ticked lower. So that's good. Could even be breaking down this, some might call head and shoulders formation. Hopefully that's what it is, because I would like a new car pretty soon. And by new, I mean used. And then finally, Piper, with the last couple minutes here, let's get to this one over here. Why Meta is popping today is because Twitter traffic is tanking as Meta's thread hits 100 million users. But I have a feeling that Elon Musk may have the last laugh over there at Twitter. But Piper, before we leave, give us some clarity on this national security headline, maybe not national security, but international affairs headline: cluster bombs. Biden defends decision to send Ukraine controversial weapons. Cluster bombs. What are they? Should we be worried? And why is this an escalation?
So cluster bombs are a type of artillery round. They can also be dropped from planes, but normally they're fired from surface to surface through artillery. And what they are is, when the round is moving, it's one round, but it breaks open and then it sends many little bombs into a spread area. About 120 countries have banned them. The United States, Ukraine, and Russia are not, but many of the NATO and European partners they have a ban against the use of them because of mass casualties of civilians. Plus any that don't explode. There's a decent percentage of them that are just, they don't explode. And so that means you have a lot of unexploded ordnance sitting around in civilian areas that can blow up later. Mm-hmm. They're just it's a messy weapon. So the fact that we gave them to Ukraine is upsetting a lot of people in NATO. And the fact that Ukraine has lost so many fighting positions to Russia, this could actually give Russia those munitions eventually, they're pretty nasty. So that's why it's a big deal.
Okay. Very, very good. Yeah. Our resident military expert.
Yeah, I know it is 9:58. T-Shroom, I do believe that you need to go, but we will have more to talk about tomorrow, and we'll have Chris Inks on again. So remember, make sure you guys are joining tomorrow. We got Chris Inks joining the show. You don't want to miss it. Guys, we are the Investing Bros, the most generous crypto community in all of YouTube. Make sure on your way out, if you have not already, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel. We got so many big things coming. If you guys don't know what we're talking about, go back to our community section. This channel is getting bigger and better every single day, and that's all thanks to you guys. We'll see you tomorrow morning, same time, same place. You guys have a great day.
Trying to make paper, turn that matter to cake. Money like Lego, connect the dots, stack bank. We are investing bros. We are investing bros. Army pipe, lethal on trade. Entries and exits, worthy of praise. Tim, the professor, the TA. Shout it out loud on the PA. T-Shroom's news, got the word. Doing better than what he deserves. Beamer, leave no evidence. Soon fly coop with his dividend. Trying to make paper, turn that matter to cake. Money like Lego, connect the dots, stack bank. We are investing bros. We are investing bros.
Investing bros.